thick and coarse and you cannot achieve the OMG effect, you are exactly on the right place. Welcome to the SOS Flora. My name is MJ. I'm a nanoplasty educator and I'm here today to talk to you about how to achieve the OMG effect on your first application. Welcome everyone. I am so excited to be here with you today. We've been having this encounter every Tuesday and Thursdays, and I'm so happy to be here with all of you to talk about a very, very important and interesting subject: blonde hair, thick, and nanoplasty. Just before going ahead with that, let me tell you, you that are interested in becoming a nanoplasty specialist, if you would like to have the opportunity, we're going to soon start talking about the nanoplasty specialist course, which is going to be something very, very important and amazing. Second of all, I've done yesterday the 15 minutes nanoplasty on my hair, and I am so impressed with the results. It looks so good. It looks straight, very shiny. And obviously I woke up today and I didn't even brush my hair, which is not good. But when you have nanoplasty, things become so straightforward and easy that it helps you to do that. But I got today a nanoplasty specialist technician from my team to talk to us because she had a result this week, last week actually, that impressed me a lot. And this is a reality on her state. She has a lot of clients with this kind of hair, which is very coarse, very thick and blonde. And she mastered the technique, because let's be honest, guys, what would be the fun if only May knew how to do that? My pleasure is to teach you and teach you exactly on how to do it. Just asking you a question. If you don't follow us and you are joining this live, please follow us. Start following us, because this is what we do. We teach you guys on how to perform the best and the perfect nanoplasty. And don't feel scared if you already done once and you didn't feel that it was perfect. That's why you are here today. You are here to learn more about nanoplasty. Let's go and invite Marion, my beautiful Marion. I'm going to invite her to this live. And she's going to be able to show us a little bit more about her work and also the techniques that she followed for the blonde hair. So we're going to be, hello, Marcella. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm so glad you joined this live with me.
I'm glad to. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, even on live. We've been
Yeah.
trying to chat on WhatsApp and everything, but it's been so busy, and I love that we had this time here to talk. Marion, explain to them about your region. I know that on your region, you have a lot of people with blonde and coarse hair.
Yeah.
And tell me at the beginning, I believe that a lot of people that are on the live today, they know you already. They understand that you do an amazing, exceptional work. But also explain to them about your region and the difficulties that you had on blonde and coarse. Because now that you are a nanoplasty specialist, when someone comes in with that really, really thick and coarse dark hair, we don't look to this hair with the complexity that we do today. We
Yeah.
look and say it's easy. But when it's a blonde and coarse, that increases the level of complexity. So just explain today a little bit about your work and your region, because if someone here doesn't know you, they will get to know you now.
Okay. So if you don't know me, my name is Marion and I'm Fluoractive Official Technician for Western Australia. So if you know a little bit about Western Australia, you know how harsh our climate gets here, and our beaches are renowned for being beautiful. And so lots of swimmers, lots of surfers, lots of people that go to the beach, and lots of blonde hair. We have we have a huge European community here in Western Australia, and I think European hair is, very thick and very coarse in general. And everybody wants to be blonde because let's face it, blonde hair is fun, it's beautiful, and it's addictive as well. So people want to have beautiful hair and they want to be blonde.
That's true.
Um, so I think we need to go back a little bit, with thinking about the systems that we've had in the past that weren't safe on blonde hair, because as a hairdresser, I've been a hairdresser for a little while. So for the people that don't know, I own a salon here in Perth, a hairdressing salon, and you always take the blonde hair with a little bit of caution. As soon as you see bleach, as soon as you touch something with bleach, even if you use the best product, you take all the precautions, the care, you use all the treatments, the right products, but you always go towards blonde hair with a little bit of caution, with heat and with chemical services. You always be extra careful. So the systems that we've had in the past have been not good for blonde hair, because when someone came in and wanted keratin or they wanted chemical straightening, as soon as you saw bleach in the hair, you went, sorry, I'm not going to touch that, because you don't want to put chemical on chemical, and you don't want to, use high heat on that kind of hair. And so I think already, if we look at it in this sense, nanoplasty has revolutionized all that, because we are able to say yes to blonde hair. We are able to say yes to, everyone with nanoplasty. So already it's revolutionary in that sense. But still, when you use nanoplasty, you need to treat blonde hair differently. You need to treat every hair differently, and I think this is not a nanoplasty rule. This is a hairdressing rule. Every hair is different. So when someone comes in, you need to be able to analyze this hair and realize and find out the history and what's in the hair, and to decide what's the right course of action. And I think for me personally in the salon, I probably would say that I have 65% of blonde clients, 65 to 70% of blonde clients. So for me to do nanoplasty on majority of my clients by now, because I've been doing nanoplasty for a little while, every day in the salon, I had to really get that confidence. I had to get that knowledge to be able to treat blonde hair, differently. When I started sort of looking into the nanoplasty, the ingredients and the solutions, the formulations, I wasn't worried about that in particular. I wasn't worried about what I was putting on the hair that then was going to penetrate in the hair, because the solutions are great. They do great things for the hair, The thing that worried me was the heat, obviously, because I had to, with nanoplasty, we need to use high heat to get the results. So I think the first thing that people need to know is ask the right questions, do a proper consultation, and find out what's been happening to this hair if the client is not your salon client, how this hair gets treated on a daily basis, what the client has been doing, what they use at home, if their lifestyle a little bit as well. That's important, because already if someone comes in and says that they are surfing 3 times a week, this hair is going to be in the ocean 3 times a week. So I think the most important thing is consultation. But even in the consultation, it's not just a matter of asking a bunch of questions. It's a matter of asking the right questions. So I think for me, the turning point was the Nanoplasty Specialist Program, because it gave me the tools to be able to even do a consultation properly. As a hairdresser, as a stylist, you know how to consult, but for this treatment, you need to tailor the consultation. So if you want to ask the right questions, because of what you need to do, you need to know what to ask. So the first thing I ask the clients is the history of the hair. So what they, because blonde can be a lot of, it's not just one standard blonde. My blonde and your blonde is different. My hair and your hair is very different. So the clients can have high lift, they can have bleach, they can have blonde with color, they can have gray underneath, they can have natural, they can have, there's so many, so many. There can be a blonde that has been chemically straightened before it was blonde. There can be a blonde that, has been bleached for the past 30 years like mine, So asking the right questions is the first thing. The second thing I would say is a test trend if you're worried. I do that with my blondes very often. Yeah, it's very simple, very easy. I just, if I have an area of concern, I just spray a little bit of water, test the hair, see if it's elasticized, see the condition of it. Because when the hair is wet, it's at its weakest, so you get to see properly what happens to this hair.
Yeah.
That helps a lot because they can be a healthy blonde, if they've been taking care of the hair and they've been doing the right things, and it can be a healthy blonde. So it's not necessarily scary or super complicated, to do nanoplasty on blonde hair, but you just got to approach it the right way. I think that's the main thing that I've
I
learned over time.
I believe that one of the biggest things for blonde and coarse hair is you understanding that this will count more technique than actually product wise.
Absolutely.
Because you can have an absolutely devastating, terrible result using exactly the same products and tools. And I've
Exactly.
seen that.
Yeah.
So if I put a bunch of tools in front of someone and I put the same tools and the same product in the hands of someone that knows what to do, it's completely different.
Of
And you know what
course.
I feel sometimes, Marion? People understand that on medicine, on doctors. If someone is going to do a surgery for you,
Of course.
you kind of, I want to do with someone that knows exactly how to work with those tools. Because any minor things matter.
Of
And
course.
when we're talking about a person that is alive, it's very easy to understand. Any minor error can make someone to lose their life.
Of course. And
On
conditions change as well. You're talking about medication. When you lose weight, for instance, the same medication that you took before your weight loss, it's going to affect you very differently after your weight loss. If
Yeah,
you are going through menopause, your medication is going to affect you very differently. And you might say, oh, but I've been taking this for a long time and I never had this reaction. But the history that your body has just gone through,
yeah,
it's going to affect that a lot. So that's why I say, to ask the right questions and to know what to do. Absolutely. Like, I think that's why having the right knowledge and the right training is key with nanoplasty.
yeah,
We're not handing hairdressers a magic wand, a solution that goes, here, you use this and that's it. It's
yeah,
guaranteed. You know
yeah.
what I mean? We guarantee the results with the right technique, with the right training, with the right knowledge, and like with everything in hairdressing, MJ, like when they teach you how to foil someone's hair, they're not going to say to you, okay, this is the way you foil, and you foil like this every single person that comes into your salon. For some people, you can't even go as high as 20 volt. You gotta foil with 10. You gotta foil with 7 because the hair won't take it. So it's not different. I don't know why there's this idea that a treatment like that is one step by step the same for everyone. Like that's a guideline, but
Mm,
everybody is so different. So when
mm.
when they teach you, if you go back to your TAFE days, when they teach you how to foil someone's hair, how to bleach someone's hair. Oh my goodness, I don't foil. I don't think I foil two clients the same in my salon. Like
Yeah,
it's just you just gotta treat everybody individually for the
100%.
needs. Mm.
And also, what is important as well, and I always try to tell my clients to not feel threatened by someone that says to you, a client, oh, where do you buy the product? It seems easy.
Mm.
I don't get offended when someone says that to me because I'm making something so complex look so easy that someone can think that they will
Yeah,
have the ability
I've
just by
actually been
buying the
told.
bottle.
I've been told by clients saying, "Oh, you make it look so easy," and I'm like, "Yeah, but I've trained for 2 years."
No, and it's great when someone sees us as someone that can do something so complex as easy. But nanoplasty, when we talk about a normal nanoplasty, a mass from the letter should just say, love you, we love you too, Mass. When we do nanoplasty for dark hair, you are in a completely different scenario.
Yeah.
When you are doing a nanoplasty for dark hair, your speed doesn't really matter. The temperature of the straightener will not cause a lot of problem. There is a whole bunch of different things that you need to do when it's a blonde hair. For blonde hair, just starting the conversation, it's different than how you do dark because you're not going to be able to be talking to your client a lot. On a blonde hair, you need to pay attention because any holding on the straightener on the hair can alter the color. And if you alter the color while you're doing nanoplasty, you will have so much trouble to remove that after.
Yeah.
And I'm always an advocate of, instead of you correcting the problem, try to not create the
Not do
problem.
it. Yeah. The other thing I noticed is that because blonde hair by default is drier normally, the steam stops coming out a lot quicker compared to when I do a healthy, brunette.
Yes.
So in that sense, I need to stop the moment I feel that steam has stopped coming out, because when
Yeah.
the clean steam comes out, it means the hair is hydrated. But once I've
Yes.
done enough passes. Another thing that I really find most of the times is that I can't go as hard on the roots, on the ends, as I go on the roots. So if I've got a healthy brunette, I can go 15 times, straighten those strands all the way from top to bottom. With blondes, 99% of the times, what I do on the roots, I can't do on the ends, not even half sometimes,
Yes.
because the
Yes.
ends don't need it and can't take
Yeah.
it. So it's a matter of really tailoring the treatment. You need to respect, what's on the hair and
Yeah.
what, to get a proper result. And there's been a few occasions. I've been with you for 2 years now. I can't believe it's been 2 years already.
Can't believe it.
Yeah, and I found over time that a couple of times I had some scary situations. Now it doesn't happen anymore. I'm very confident when people come in. A couple of times I've had some scary situations where I looked at this hair and I thought, maybe it's not ideal to do, nanoplasty today, but with the knowledge, with the training, with, your hairdressing knowledge, that's why it's so important. Your the tools that Fluoractive gives, I'm confident now, that I can straighten any hair. And it's true, like you can absolutely 100% get the results if you know what you're doing.
Yeah. Now, Hair by Hoda, she made a really good question. Look, I have a client. I've done nanoplasty for the second time, but on the second time, it's a bit rough on the ends. I'm not sure. Can someone explain that to me? This happened quite a lot because when you do the nanoplasty for the first time, you sometimes use a higher heat, especially when the hair is blonde, but then you think that the whole thing stopped at the salon. In the salon, you started the treatment. So the client needs to go home knowing I had to use higher heat for you. Your hair didn't receive the hydration level that it needed by the end, because by the end, I will be using the hydration to make the hair straight.
Yeah.
Now you have to start recovering that hydration back. So when the client leaves the salon, especially when they have really thick, really blonde hair, and they don't have a continuation of the hydration at home. And hair, when it's blonde, they naturally get the hydration out. So if you have blonde and never done nanoplasty, your hair will naturally be drier than someone that has virgin hair.
Of course.
Only because bleach removes the hydration from the hair. And this is something that we know and we kind of agree when we do blonde. I think all of us that has done blonde in the hair, we sign an imaginary agreement saying your life is going to become a bit harder from now on. As much as a lot of people that do blonde, they are not fully aware of that. They're not fully aware that the life will be harder. It's not like leaving the beach and just letting your hair air dry without using anything. It's not jumping in a swimming pool without doing anything on your hair. Forget about it. Your life will be different from now on.
Yeah.
When you have a blonde hair and you do nanoplasty, what you're signing for is your level of hydration is okay now that we finished because I recovered that. I took all the care, but I'm not going to be able to maintain this hydration for the next 5 months. Blonde hair will naturally require more hydration. And that's why when you sell the home care kit for her, is your way of saying, I'm caring for your hair at home.
Yeah. Yeah. It's your
so if
responsibility, definitely. Yeah.
So in the second time, you've done that. Or imagine she came from a nanoplasty from another salon that say to her, yeah, use anything, because this is the new trend now. Do nanoplasty and you can use anything. I don't know who the hell said that. So you go do nanoplasty for someone for the second time. The first time they didn't care about giving her anything to use at home, and she came to you with the hair dehydrated. You're going to do nanoplasty for her now without taking care of the right level of hydration. You are going to cause dehydration on her. Or is that the nanoplasty that they created? I would say it was the poor information or the poor level of not technical knowledge that created that. Because every time we do a blonde and thick hair, what we need to have in mind is we need to increase the level of hydration of this hair as much as we can, because we are going to use a lot of heat. And it's a simple math. 0 plus 0 doesn't equal 1. If you have the hair dehydrated and you're going to use heat, you're going to stop the hair on -1 because the hair didn't have anything. And you're going to remove what the hair didn't have.
Yeah.
So what we do is the hair is on zero when they come to the salon. We're going to put more. So when I use the straightener, I don't go back to 0. So this is very, very important. Someone said, salon purpose say, still straightening as normal, but can leave a mark on the blonde. To leave a mark on the blonde, you need to stop the straightener in the middle of the hair. So what normally we do, why we use the clamping brush? Because the clamping brush gives us the slide first before we slide with the straightener. So it's kind of, I prepare the place for
Yeah.
me to use the straightener without creating that. When you pass the straightener and you get that when you do that in 160 degrees is one thing. When you do that on 250 degrees, it's a completely different scenario. Imagine.
Think about ironing clothes. It's not different than ironing
Exactly.
clothes.
Exactly.
Yeah. If you clamp something down on your ironing board and you just, keep it nice and tight, you're gonna iron a lot easier. Yeah.
100%. That's a really good example, because
Yeah.
imagine if you do that on silk.
Yeah. And you
If you
stop
do that on
with the
silk,
iron. It's the same
on,
thing. Yeah.
I remember that I had some pens one day. That was a silk pens, and I was going to a training. So then I put the iron very hot because it was really, really crunchy. And I say, this needs to be fast. I need to be quick. So then I remember that I stretched the pens on the ironing board. I stretched the pens as much as I could with my hands. I spray some water. I prepared the surface for the iron. And then when the iron came in, it wasn't like, oh shit, this part is still very, together. No, it was all
Yeah.
stretched with my hands.
Yeah.
So I prepared the
Yeah.
surface for the heat, because I know that if I was like, oh, what, Sam? Done. Done. He will create a hole, as I already did once. It was in one of my shirts. I was ironing, and then he actually created a hole at the end. Thank God it was at the end. So you guys probably saw me in one of the trainings with an iron with the shirt with the hole, but it was underneath of my, it was inside of my pants. You couldn't see it. But exactly, this is an amazing, amazing example. You create a hole not because of the iron board, not because of the silk material, not because of the iron. You create it because your technique to iron that clothes wasn't good. So can you stop the iron when you're doing a nanoplasty on 250 degrees on a blonde hair and you create a mark? Absolutely will. So what I do to avoid that, MJ, first thing is heat protection. Heat protection will work as a layer to protect the hair against those things, against you maybe passing it a little bit slower, or creating that friction. Second thing, the clamping brush will create the smooth surface for you before you coming in with the straightener. And that's purely technique, guys. Purely technique. It has nothing to do with the product by itself. You know what I mean? And
The
also, yeah,
when we use the heat protection also, I use my heat protection very differently with blonde hair and dark, healthier hair, or most of the times it's enough to give it heat protection all over. Maybe you section the hair in half and you just do a spray before you iron. But if I have compromised blonde hair, I actually spray every section, because I want to make sure that that heat protection is on every strand of the hair. Yeah.
that's good. That's amazing. Rachel say, I recommend macadamia mask in between nano treatments as extra service and hydration for blondes. Amazing.
Mm.
Amazing, Rachel. You can also recommend the Force Therapy, the new system that
Absolutely.
we have now. It's amazing to maintain the level of hydration. If your client left the salon and you know that the level of hydration of their hair is going to go down in a few months, you leave the salon recommending them this is what you need to use for you to maintain the level of hydration on your hair. Because as a blonde hair, thick, for me to use the right temperature to make your hair straight, I had to use high heat. And if you leave today without doing anything special, your level of hydration is not going to go down.
The other
Bronnie
thing,
said, sorry.
sorry, yeah, you go. The other thing for me is when people ask me what to use, oh, is that okay for me to use what I have at home? My answer straight away, it's not no. If you use what you have at home, you're going to ruin the treatment. It's not about that. It's about me not knowing what you have at home. So it's like you asking me, oh, can I use, I don't know, I love cooking. And someone says to me, oh, in your lasagna, do you use this type of cheese? And I'm like, no, I use mozzarella. I don't know what it's going to be like if I use another type of cheese. Do you know what I mean? Like, without obviously being simplistic, but I just think if you use what I'm giving you, I know what this is going to do to the hair. But if you use what you have at home, oh, sometimes they tell me the brands, I use this, it costs $60 a bottle. And I'm like, but I still don't know what's inside that bottle. I don't know what it's, so for me to guarantee that you're going to keep the hydration, the shine, I know that the fluoractive products are going to do that. Okay, so if you go home and use whatever you've got in your bathroom, I'm not saying you're going to strip the treatment out, because the treatment is inside, it's not going to come out. But the effects of the treatment, I can't guarantee, because I don't know
Yeah.
what.
And it's not about saying that it's not a good treatment. Oh, I'm
Yeah,
using
absolutely.
Wella, I'm using
Yeah,
Kerastase. They are really
absolutely.
good brands. It's not about that. Is when you came in, your hair was in one way. So that was suitable for your hair.
Yeah,
Now you live in the salon with the hair with a completely different structure. Now your hair is not coated anymore. Now your hair has nanoplasty inside. And now you need to nourish the ends and the outside of the hair to make sure that you are treating the ends. So when you offer them something, and sometimes our products will be much cheaper than what they are using, and it's not about to say, oh, what you're using is crap. Client
no,
doesn't
no,
want to listen that they are
absolutely.
doing wrong.
No, absolutely. It's the right product, not the good product.
It's a product that you can give them previsibility. You know what's going to happen. It's very different.
Yeah,
And it's like assuming that that product will do the same thing that this product was designed for.
yeah,
Nanoplastic shampoo and conditioners, they were created to be perfect in a nanoplastic environment.
yeah.
So we know how it's going to behave after. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Someone said something really good. It's all about looking after your investment. Like, you've invested, your money, your time in this treatment. Your hair has been transformed. The balance of your scalp has been restored. The beautiful hydration of your hair has been restored. You want to look after that investment. That's very true. I think I agree with that 100%.
100%. Brooke also asked, how would I adjust the application on the second nanoplasty service? When they come in for a second nanoplasty, what I see a lot of people getting wrong, Marion, is they follow exactly what they've done for the first time. And the hair is not the same as
Yeah.
when they came for the first time.
Yeah.
If I do nanoplasty on my hair now, and then on the second time I do it, I follow exactly the same thing, what is going to happen with my hair? I will cause dehydration. Why? Because the way that I came in, my hair was much curlier, much
Exactly.
frizzier. It needed much more than what we need for the second service. That's why the investigation, the analysis, and the questions are so important. Okay, so MJ, you've done nanoplasty several times now. And I said yesterday that I've probably done nanoplasty about 60 to 70 times in my hair for the last 14 years. So when I do my nanoplasty now, sometimes I put the product all around. Sometimes I just put half where the regrowth is. When I put the nanoplasty all the way to the end, I obviously not going to use the same amount of heat that I've used on the first time
Or
because
number of
my hair is already nanoplasted on the ends. So
yeah,
my ends are much straighter than the roots. And then I'm not going to follow the same temperature that I've used on the ends as I've done for the first time
of
because the
course.
hair is not as complex anymore. Then a lot of people say to me, so should I charge less? Why, if you're going to spend the same amount of time? The
Wow.
complexity, it's like this. Let me give you guys an example. When you do bleach for someone, and then the hair is a lot, there is a level of complexity. But depending on the level that you are doing, you're not going to charge them more or less. This is part of what you do. So if someone comes in and say, I would like to have a level 6 or a level 7 or level 8, you're not going to charge them by the level. But the complexity will be different for you.
Yeah.
They will not need to know because this is part of, I am a professional.
Yeah. Let me tell you, as a salon owner, okay, if you start doing regrowths and, charging less, and you will find very soon that it's not worth it. It's not worth your time. It's not worth, because the actual process of the nanoplasty is the same. It's like when people ask if a trim is a different price to a haircut. Whether I cut 1 centimeter or I cut 5 centimeters off someone's hair, it's still a haircut. My training, my skills, my time, the time you sit in my chair, the way I have to divide your hair and I have to section and I have to take care and measure and make sure that it's got nothing to do with the amount of hair that I'm cutting. Do you understand? So
Yes.
it's the same. When I do nanoplasty on someone who's had it done 6 months ago, 8 months ago, they have the regrowth. I'm going to treat the mids and ends differently, but I'm still going to apply the product. It's got to sit in the hair for an hour. Then I got to rinse. Then I got to dry. Then I got to iron. If anything, it's more complex because I can't just go top to bottom all the same. I got to think and I got to go, okay, that's where the expertise comes in. This hair has had nanoplasty 6 months ago. It's not as frizzy, it's not a curly, so I'm not going to use the temperature, but it's the same process. You take the same time. That's why we have other things that you can do in between if people don't want to have the full treatment done again. But when you do nanoplasty, I highly recommend you explain to people it's not something like keratin that you get done every 2 months, every 3 months. The clients don't come back sometimes for a whole year. So you need
Yeah.
to redo the whole thing when they come in, and you need to treat the hair accordingly.
Yeah.
That's me anyway. Yeah.
Livia said, do you find that using lower temperature on heat on blonde hair don't get the longevity as on higher heat on dark hair? I found that my blonde clients, the nano is not lasting as long as my dark hair. This is so good. This question is so good
Yeah.
because we have many levels of that. First of all, the dark hair doesn't require you to do anything after. If someone wants to go out without even drying the hair after the nanoplasty, they don't need to. The hair will perform only because the hair is fuller when you have a dark hair. The hair is fuller, so it has more layers of hair, which creates more structure. Every time we bleach the hair, we make the hair naturally weaker. But then, MJ, I've used very good products. I'm using K18. Doesn't matter what you use, the hair structure for blonde is naturally weaker. And this is something, as I said before, we all signed for when we decided to be blonde. So when we have a blonde hair, we need to make sure that we give enough hydration for us to be able to use higher heat on the hair. So just for you guys to measure, less than 210 on blonde, you're most likely just giving a smoothing treatment. But then a lot of your clients with blonde hair, you said, I can't go over 210. It's impossible. And I agree with you. If you were doing keratin, if you were doing just a normal blow dry and straightening, I would never use 210 degrees or above. But when you are doing nanoplasty, the product will behave differently on the hair. The product will penetrate the layers and all the lipids, the plaques, and everything that we added on the solution to give hydration will coat those layers to protect against the heat. They will not coat the hair as an overall, as keratin does, but it will protect the layers. So what is most important on blonde hair? Give lots of hydration prior the nanoplasty. So the hair is extremely knotty and blonde and really elastic. You already know that there is a massive issue on the structure of this hair. So if you don't do anything now, what's going to happen to you? You're not going to be able to use higher heat. And if you're not going to be able to use higher heat, you're not going to have the hair straight for long. And also, sometimes, Livia, and why I'm saying that, because I know that you have the knowledge. When you do nanoplasty and the proper heat and etc., and why the hair doesn't last, because probably the client is not taking care of the hair properly at home. On my hair, for example, I have a very, very curly hair. And I think just my mom and my sister and my dad knows about it, because I don't remember last time my hair was curly.
Same.
But I know that my hair type is not the type of hair that I'm going to sleep with my hair wet and it's going to wake up beautiful. If I sleep with my hair wet, even having nanoplasty, done all the treatments and using all the good masks and blah, 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 I'm going to wake up thinking, what the F happened to your head? Nobody will believe that I have nanoplasty done. Why? Because my hair is very fine. It's bleached. So I know that what I need to do, if I sleep, if I'm going to go and wash my hair at night, compulsory for me, I have to blast my hair before, sleeping. I need to blast dry my hair. If I'm washing my hair in the morning and I'm going to be rubbing my hair against the seat on the car, or if I'm going to be having something that it's not going and walking at the beach on the sun, I need to blast dry my hair. So sometimes your clients say it's not lasting because they're probably not taking care of their hair properly at home and they're having this feeling. Or they're leaving the salon with a blonde hair where you had to use a lot of heat and they're not taking any good masks, they're not taking any oils to hydrate their hair during the time that they're going to wait for the second nanoplasty. So if your issue, Livia, is I'm feeling scared of using higher heat, it's a big sign that you're not giving enough hydration to this hair. Or if you say they're leaving here amazing, but I feel that it's not lasting at home, they probably are not taking care of the hair properly at
Yeah,
home.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much you need to teach your clients what to do. And this is no offense, on the clients, but you are the professionals. You are the trained professionals. So it's your responsibility to teach your clients. When I take my clients back to the chair, MJ, after the final wash, I have a whole spiel that I give to them from the way I comb the hair before I do the final blast dry. I say to them, from now on, when you wash your hair, I want you to do exactly this. I want you to give your hair a good comb, starting from your nape down. None of this blast drying your hair with your head upside down like you did before. We're not, you need to, and don't feel that, you're patronizing your clients or you're taking it. People appreciate it because you say to
Yeah.
them, you want to help gravity. It's a finger dry. You're going to help, because otherwise people go home, wash their hair, put upside down, blast dry, and then they get up like this and, and they say, oh, nanoplasty, by you doing it in the, that's why we do the final wash, we balance the
Yeah.
pH, but we do the final wash to show them
Educate
how
them.
they're gonna, to educate them how they're gonna, and we're gonna use moringa oil, we're gonna use heat protections, and then the clients say, okay, so what are you using now, what is that? And you say, this is what you do, heat protection before any type of heat, this and that. And I find that really helps because people go home confident that they have the tools to look
Yeah.
after, like this lovely lady called it before, their investment. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because
Yeah.
you want them to, you want the treatment to last, you want them to have great results. First of all,
Yeah.
because they're going to come back, and second of all, because I don't know about you've been doing it for so long, but I've been doing it for 2 years, and I do them every day. And I still get such a great kick when I see these results, and I see people so happy. It's the best feeling in the world. There's nothing better. Like, I feel so happy. I had a client last week, the one that you saw, the level 11, 12. Remember the
Yes, yes, that one was
this
amazing.
lady was in shock, MJ, because they come in, they have the consultations, they trust you, they know your credentials, you're the technician for Western Australia, so they come to you because they know that you know what you're doing and everything. But then everybody thinks that their hair is the worst, right? So everybody
Yes.
sits there with a little bit of doubt, and they say, is it really going to work on my hair? You know what I mean? So when you are able to deliver those results, it's the best feeling in the world. This woman
Yes.
was shocked. And I said to her, "You doubted me, didn't you?" And she said, "No, no, I didn't doubt your skills." She said, I doubted my hair." She said, like, because everybody thinks that their hair is the worst.
That's
So
so true.
yeah, so please, like, educate your clients, tell them what to do, tell them how to look after their hair.
I've got a question here, Marion, that is so good. And yesterday I explained the girls about it. Hair by Honda say, what is the best shampoo I can use when I did nanoplasty after
Excuse my
Wednesday?
dog in the background. Sorry.
I'm using the same shampoo, but the same shampoo for active makes the hair very rough. This is a fantastic question. And if my team is in this live, I really need a cut, a reels from what I'm going to explain now. So this is so important. Why? We have the impression that when we wash the shampoo and the shampoo feels nice and soft on the hair, that is a really good shampoo. The problem when you have a shampoo that doesn't create any feeling on your hair, it's because the shampoo is not telling you anything. And if the shampoo is not telling anything, you're not going to know what your hair really needs. The greatest thing on when you do shampoo on the hair is when you do the shampoo on the hair and it feels rough, the shampoo is saying to you, I've cleaned what was dirty, but the hair needs lots of nutrition. Can you do that after? And it's telling you exactly where you need to go. Why are you saying that, MJ? Because when you use a shampoo that feels good on you, and normally those shampoos has sulfate zero, they don't challenge your hair. And it's kind of you washing the hair with butter, and after the butter, you're adding more butter. So eventually, you're not doing anything. So if the shampoo is rough, it's telling you a message. Hey, I'm super dry. You can't just put conditioner and rinse it out straight away. You will probably need to leave this conditioner on. You will need to use some oils after. You need to use a heat protection before you dry. It's telling you something so much that all my nanoplasty specialist knows that at the end, if the shampoo feels really rough, they need to change the mask. It's a sign for them. Hey, this mask won't be enough. You need extra. So we
Absolutely.
know that it's a sign. Every time you avoid the sign, or if you say every week, MJ, I'm using the shampoo and it feels that my hair is rough at the end when I rinse the hair, it's telling you clear, screaming on your ear, your hair is super dehydrated. Do something about it. You know what I mean? So I love this question because this question knows that we don't have enough knowledge about the products and how the hair reacts. Because I say to everyone, the hair talks to us all the time. The
Absolutely.
hair is telling you something is happening. You know, when you wash the hair with the shampoo and it feels amazing on the roots, when you go to the ends feels like, ah, it's telling you, hey, you can't stop. You have to stop using what you're using. It's not enough for me. If the shampoo doesn't give you any challenge, if the shampoo doesn't tell you anything, you don't know what to do next. You literally don't know. And the problem with hair is the issues are silent. When you hear the voice screaming out loud, sometimes it's too late. When you hear the little signs, you can go back and fix it. So this question is absolutely amazing.
And if we think about, we accept it from a beautician. If you go for a facial, what's the first thing they're gonna do? They're gonna cleanse. They're gonna cleanse everything off your face, and most of the times you end up with few blemishes, few red spots, few, you know what I mean? Because it sort of uncovers and shows all the imperfections and the blemishes. So then the beautician knows the beautician knows what to use, how to fix that, what your
Yeah.
face, what your skin needs. And the hair is the same, right?
Exactly. And she's saying, but it's the shampoo from Floractive. And I say, I know. I'm saying the shampoo from Floractive will not hide the issues on your hair. If your hair is becoming very rough, first, you may use too much heat on the hair when you've done the nanoplasty. Or MJ, I never done the nanoplasty, so your hair is already very dry. So it's the starting point. In Brazil, we've got a technique that it's called, it's a very ugly name in English. I don't know why they use that, but it's called pre-poo. So it's not poo, it's poo of shampoo.
Yeah.
So it's a pre-hydration prior the shampoo. And it doesn't mean that it's not the right shampoo for you. It doesn't mean that. It just means what you need to use next or what you need to use prior. So, what is the best shampoo I can use? For the nanoplasty itself treatment, the W1 shampoo is the best. MJ, but it makes the hair feels really rough after rinsing. So, you need to use something stronger to make the hair hydrated after the shampoo. You need to go with the macadamia mask. You need to go with something stronger. And then after rinsing, spray macadamia serum before the blast dry. So it's giving you signs. It's telling you, hey, I'm very dehydrated. So in this time, what people normally do, they change the shampoo. So they change the messenger. They change the messenger. It's like, I don't want to hear from you. Then you go to someone that butters your hair upside down and you
With
feel, oh,
silicone, yeah.
it's feeling much nicer now. It's not. It's not fixing the problem. You're band-aiding the problem.
Yeah.
And this is what I feel in hair is this is where a lot of the issues come in. When you don't fix the problem, you band-aid. And a lot of people go after nanoplasty thinking that it's a band-aid. I destroyed my hair for 5 years. I didn't use proper thing. I've been using shampoo that costs $5 a kit of shampoo and conditioner. And then I come to you and I say, can you please fix my hair that for 5 years I didn't care? And when you say, of course I can fix your hair forever, you're lying to them. Because you would have to do a lot of things. Are they keen to invest on that? Because don't lie to them saying that this whole transformation of 5 years of ignoring your hair and signs, it's gonna cost them $200. It won't. It's like a diet. You're not gonna lose weight. Everything that you put in 20 years in a month. It's not gonna happen. It will be gradually, and it's gonna be investment of time, of everything. Someone asked a question. Gray blonde client with curly hair. Which nano product should I use and which heat? Good question. This is exactly the client that you've done, right?
Yeah. So I think to choose the solution is very important to know your solutions and to know, again, what the hair needs. So I find that if you have, since we're talking about blonde hair, if you have someone with very, very thick, curly blonde hair, okay, you're going to need to use a high temperature. So you're going to need a solution that is going to allow you to use the high temperature without stripping that blonde, without stripping the tone of the hair. And the solution that will allow you to do that is the Eco-Reduxa. Normally, in general, the Eco-Reduxa has the blue pigment, and the blue pigment is the strongest, so it's gonna deposit more. It's gonna overtone when you apply the solution and leave it on for an hour. But the overtoning is done on purpose, because then when you go and iron, you strip that tone rather than the client's blonde. Okay, you see it all the time. My 99.9% of my blonde clients love their color so much better after the nanoplasty, because it's what it does is beautiful. But sometimes you can say, I need to use the Eco-Reduxa because the hair is thick and is really curly, so I need to use high temperature. But I also feel that this hair needs something more because it's also very dry, or so I feel like I need a treatment, I need a Plex. So what I do is I use either the Floraplex in the solution, the Floractive Floraplex, which is your Plex system, or you can use the W2, which has the Plex in it. So I do my base for, with the Eco Reduxer, but then I can use a little bit of W2 that is enriched with a lot more oils and the Plex in it, if the blonde hair needs it. So that sort of the W2 acts as a extra precaution, as an extra treatment, extra nourishment for this blonde hair. So I think when you go and rinse the hair for the first time after the hour, you're going to have a lot of overtone. But you warn your clients, you say your clients, don't freak out, your hair's going to have the pinkish tone or the purplish tone, but it's done on purpose, because when we iron, you'll see this beautiful hair come back to its natural, beautiful blonde that the client has walked in with. And just if you have prevented her blonde from fading or changing color. I think that's the best way to go.
That's
This is what I
amazing.
this is what I did with that lady last week.
And the blonde
When
tone, when she left,
was beautiful. It was beautiful. She loved it. She loved
it
it.
was like two services in one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was
And
so impressed.
I had to use high temperatures because her hair was thick. You saw that she had so much hair and her hair was thick, and it was, inside, especially the nape area. I find that especially when you're starting, the main area of concern is the back of the neck,
Yes.
the nape where the hair is dense. Sometimes, you put your hand in and you can't even, the hair is so dense. So you need the temperature, otherwise you can't get the hair straight.
Yeah.
And she loved it. She was so impressed. The color was beautiful at the end. And when we rinsed it
That's
the first time, the hair was pink because I used the Eco
yes.
Reduxer with the W2 in there. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
So
it looked like the color you nailed. It was amazing. I felt that it was, it has the right tone of ash. It was still, it felt like two services in one. She felt like fresh, bleached with a really rich and
yeah,
expensive toner.
done.
That was, oh my God.
Yeah.
When I saw the result, those before and afters that you see, and like, nice. That one I was eating and I was like, holy moly.
Thank you. I get that too. I get that feeling too. I'm so excited when I see those results. Yeah.
And then we're gonna respond to this last question because we've been on for an
Okay.
hour and I can't believe it. When we get together, we talk so well. That's so good. So the last question will be from Grace. How high should be the temperature for Egyptian hair bleached color? Ooh,
Wow.
this would be probably one of the most complex type of hair because it is a bleached Egyptian, and Egyptian has a really coarse
Coarse,
texture.
wiry. Yeah.
Yeah, for this hair, I think the main thing is lots of hydration. The hair needs to feel amazing before you start with the nanoplasty. And maybe you need to give a hydration section prior the nanoplasty application. Maybe do the full therapy before. Because what I have in mind is not the perfect hydrated bleached Egyptian. For you to ask this question here, I'm thinking that your hair is complex, so probably dehydrated, or you are trying to find an easier way for you to do with your curls. So it's not a type of hair that is straightforward. It's a type of hair that brings lots of complexity.
Yeah.
So if you feel that your hair is extremely over dehydrated, I will suggest do a treatment 1 week prior to nanoplasty. Sell her a moringa oil and ask her to do the moringa oil treatment at least twice before the day of the
Yeah.
nanoplasty.
Yeah.
So when she comes in, she will have leverage on
Yeah.
the hair to go high. Hair cannot go high if it's dehydrated. So how I do then, MJ? Give back lots of hydration to the hair so you have leverage to go high.
I think if one of my students asks me these questions, which they do, I always say to them, it's not a straightforward answer. I can't say, first of all, without seeing the hair, I can't say to you, oh, on Egyptian bleached hair, you use 220 degrees. It would be very unprofessional, and I've got a duty of care. So you need to see, is a healthy Egyptian's bleached hair, is a dehydrated, this kind of hair, is a damaged, so you need to fix the issues, and then you can do the nanoplasty. You can go high with the temperature. You look after your ends. You use moringa oil or whatever the steps you got to take. But you need to see what this hair is like. I think for wiry, coarse hair, you're gonna need a high temperature to get that hair beautiful and soft and shiny and straight. But you don't want to compromise what's already, you already got a little bit of a problem there. So it would be very hard to say this temperature, this, it's like when people say to me, oh, what are the two best solutions to have in the salon? I can't tell you that. You know your salon, you know your clientele, you know your demographic. You need to decide. You need to sort of analyze your demographic and see, oh, this is what I would use. Ideally, it would be perfect to have all of them. But if you can only get two, you need to find the ones that are going to work more for your salon. I can tell you what works in mine, but I can't tell you what works in yours. Yeah.
100%. So I think it's the duty of the hairdresser to get the knowledge, because I feel that there would be a lot of clients suffering the pain of having to fix the hair after nanoplasty burn, because simply by knowledge, that hasn't been, you didn't think that you needed. As a hairdresser, you know that you cannot know everything about everything. And I can't see any other company that invests so much in knowledge and spending time giving education. And honestly, we do that first because we want you to succeed. And second, we don't want
Absolutely.
your client to have an awful experience just because there wasn't enough knowledge in place. But at the end of the day, I can't force you to be educated. I can't force the hairdressers to sit in the chair and listen. I think it needs a sort of some sort of be humble enough to know that this is something new and it can be great if there is the right education in place. Yeah.
It's also having the confidence, MJ. Like before I did the Nanopasty Specialist course, the Nanopasty Specialist program, if I look back now, I probably wouldn't have touched some of the hair that I've managed to, have the OMG effect on. I don't know if you remember last year when we were in New Zealand, when the blonde model at the
Yes.
expo,
Yes. Yes.
when the blonde model came in,
Yeah.
if I wasn't a specialist by then, I wouldn't have touched her hair.
Exactly.
It would have really scared me. But with the knowledge and the training and the tools that Fluoractive gives, that confidence
Stand
is
back.
the confidence is the best thing. I'm not scared anymore. You're not scared. You know that you can achieve it. You just need to know how. And people want trained professionals. There's nothing for it. In my salon, there's 3 of us that do nanoplasty, but nothing to take to my team because they're all amazing and I've trained them and they've got their own specialized services. You know what I mean? But people come in and they want me because they know that I've been doing it for so long and that I've been, so it's really, really important. Yeah.
That's amazing. So if you guys want to know more, I know that Hair by Hoda, if Sarah is on the call, can you please send her a message and get in touch with her about the course? We have training across the whole Australia. Also, we have in-salon training. We can help you personally. Just send us a message to get in touch with the team. And we're soon going to launch again the Nanoplasty Specialist course, which is a great opportunity for you guys to become confident like Marion and all the specialists that are in Australia right now. Just want to thank you, Marion, from the bottom of my
Thank you
heart
so
for the
much.
hour that you spent here on
It's
this live
okay.
giving
Pleasure.
so many advice, and I can't
Before
wait
we
to
go,
see you.
if you're in Perth and you're a hairdresser and you want to learn this amazing technique, on Monday the 9th of February we're kicking off our trainings here in Perth. We have 12 trainings booked in Perth, guys, so you've got plenty
Woohoo!
time, plenty opportunities. But on the 9th, Monday the 9th at 10 o'clock, we're kicking it off at International Salon Supplies with our first
Amazing.
training. So come along and come and see. It's amazing.
That is amazing. Thank you so much. And I hope you guys have a great afternoon. Thank you so much, Marion. Love
I
it.
see
Love
you
it.
Monday.
See ya. Bye.